Hello, welcome back to the word I learned by watching the Tour, the penultimate stage of the Tour de France. We are going over, let's see, we got 2 more climbs today. But this climb, and sorry, I got the first lines of the drawing in and went, wait a minute, I should probably record this. So I get wrapped up in the race and what's going on and go, oh yeah, wait a minute. So it's been another stage of note. There was a point where the yellow jersey went into the break and kind of freaked everybody out, and the break wasn't very happy about it because that meant everybody was going to chase. But he shortly thereafter dropped off, went back to the peloton, much to the delight of Ciccone and others, because they are now free to get on with their goal, the goal that Ciccone is celebrating right now. I'll get into that in just a sec. So there are multiple competitions for jerseys in the Tour. Of course, the yellow jersey, the Maillot Jaune, being the most well-known for the ultimate lead in the Tour de France. But then there are 3 other jerseys. In French, the Maillot Pois, the Maillot Vert, and the Maillot Blanc. So at this point, with the it's one more stage to race today, and then there's the stage that is kind of the celebratory stage. It's the one stage that sort of no one really competes except for the final sprint. And that's the one into Paris. So Ciccone has been racing for the polka dot jersey. Again, the Maillot Pois. That was held by the American Nielsen Palace for more stages than any American has ever held the jersey before, but he lost it a couple days back to Ciccone, the Lidl-Trek rider, and now with going over this climb, even though there are 2 more climbs to go today, by getting the maximum points on this climb. Sorry, I'm just looking to see what it is. The Col de la Schluck. And I hear you say, but that sounds German. So they are in the Alsace region of France, which has been Germany at some points in history, and then France, and then Germany, and it is back to France. So there's a lot of the signage is in both, just as the signage was in both Basque and French when we got out of the Basque region in Spain way back at the start of the tour. So too is here, the signage is all in both French and German. And every mountaintop stage seems to have giant hordes of fans lining the climb, and of course this is no different. But Ciccone knows that by winning this climb, he has now sealed the jersey. So that pretty much leaves every jersey sealed. The yellow jersey has a 7-minute lead on his nearest competitor. That's not the color I want to put there. I'm going to put that there. That would be a bit of a problem. So, of course, like I said, the yellow jersey, now the guy in second, who's 7 minutes back, is in the white jersey, the jersey of the best young rider in the Tour. Jersey he has worn pretty much since entering the Tour de France, and that's Tadej Pogačar. And he has a 4 or 5 minute lead on the next closest person to that in that competition, who currently, his name is escaping me. I know Tom Pidcock is one. So tomorrow he will win that jersey in the Tour, and that's the last time he will be eligible to compete for that jersey. He will finally age off, and every other young rider will go, hooray, we can finally compete for the white jersey, or at least have a chance to win it. They've been competing, but when you're competing against a guy who's never finished worse than second place in the Tour de France, it's a pretty stiff competition, I would say. So the rider behind Ciccone is his teammate Skiermoes, actually somebody who is in the young jersey competition, or eligible to be in it. These two are teammates, so and he has been instrumental in Ciccone being able to win this jersey. He's the one who has led on every climb, taking his teammate up and over the summit and making sure nobody else claims any points. In fact, today he has taken second on every climb they've gone over so far. So he sprints, leads his teammate out, drops off. Ciccone goes for the summit, gets there first, and everybody else is. But to be fair, nobody else is really interested in this competition in this group. Neilson Powless had tried to get in the break earlier, but the next closest person was Felix Gall, and he didn't make the break today. So he wasn't there to vie for points, and by that virtue of that, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that Ciccone would get the points. So now the green jersey has been pretty much sewn up forever, the sprinter's jersey. So I'm sure we'll see him hopefully not lecturing anybody else anymore. Philipson. We will see him going for stage honors on the Champs-Élysées. But that jersey is his, the yellow jersey, the white jersey, and the polka dot jersey. So they're all by virtue of getting over the climb first right now, all of the major tour jerseys are claimed. The only thing that could change that, as I said, is somebody crashing. And there's already been some crashes today. In fact, the riders another American, Sepp Kuss, who sits, I believe, 8th or 9th overall, crashed and landed on his face. And the rider sitting in 4th place went down right in front of him, and there was nothing Kuss could do, and he hit him and over he went. Both riders ended up hitting their faces. So while they all wear helmets, you can still fall in such a way that the helmet doesn't protect you. So far, both have stayed in the race. Sepp Kuss has been the one to really help the yellow jersey go. Cover all the moves or gain time in the mountains. Very important ally. But he's off the back now, and hopefully he'll be able to finish. It would just be heartbreaking to get to this far into the tour and then crash out, have to leave the tour on the 20th day. Don't even get to participate in the celebratory ride into Paris. But like I say, so far both riders have stayed in, but both are in danger of losing their position on the general classification. So, while I've been talking, of course, I've been continuing to paint, working through the palette, now working into the foliage behind the riders, which helps to pop again with watercolors. There is no white. White is an opaque color. If you're using gouache, which is water-based but opaque, you have the option of adding white. So any white is paper left unpainted. And that takes a little planning, or at least a little paying attention. Now I see that I missed something there that I'll come back and get in a little bit. I think I'll do it now because I'm going to switch and get blue, because it is stunning that there has been very, very little rain. I mean, the farmers aren't happy about it, but the racers are. Very little rain in this Tour de France. Because rain, of course, can make for very dangerous road conditions. It's a little safer now because everybody rides disc brakes as opposed to the old-fashioned rim brakes. Not that old-fashioned. It's only been a couple of years that they've been on tour bikes. There was a lot of resistance initially because of the fear of the sharpness of the disc in bike wrecks cutting riders. But when the Tour The history of the Tour has always been resistance to new technology. For the first 10 years of the Tour, even after derailleurs had been invented, they were not allowed to use them. So you can imagine climbing the Alps on a fixed geared bike. You had to pick that gear very carefully. You had to be geared low enough that you could climb, but high enough that you could actually have speed coming off the mountain and across the flats. So there was no change in bikes. History goes back to having no support vehicles, no support at all. And one rider was eliminated from the Tour because he stopped with a broken fork and he had to reforge his fork, which he did on his own. Apparently he had enough blacksmithing skills to be able to do that. But then it was decided that because somebody helped him pump the bellows, that he had gotten help, and so he was kicked out of the Tour.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. But
Boy,
that's the way it was.
Flying around there, going, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm sure his ghost is haunting the Tour now.
So they blew my bellows. But these guys get to ride up the cars.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays, there's teammates all along the road. I mean, soigneurs, the team helpers, helping everyone, passing out food bottles, changing tires for them. Or just handing them another bike. None of that was allowed in the halcyon days of the Tour. Also, at that point, they also had 400-kilometer stages. There's been some long stages in this Tour, but even still, the longest is only, I think, 190, something close to that. Yeah, I think that was 190 was about the longest stage. So the Tour has definitely changed, but chapeau to Ciccone for claiming the last jersey, sealing the deal, as it were, and enjoying his celebration of that sealing of the deal. So this is to remind you, of course, that all of my artwork is for sale. You can find it either by going to my blog, theartofcycling.blogspot.com, and there you'll find direct links. And of course, everything is those links will take you to my website, craigleach.com. So you can just go there and search. There's about 2/3 of the paintings still available. And some of the paintings also have digital print options. I just realized I didn't title and sign this. So his celebration, and what he's saying is the polka dots are mine. So I do appreciate it. I hope you all, if you're not already subscribed, will do so. That will help others find it and find the page. One more stage of the Tour after today, but then we go right into, on the same day, the Tour de France Femme. That's 8 days of the women racing. So tomorrow they kick off. On the same day the men end. So I hope you will continue to watch as I paint the women race. Always exciting. You're going to be hard pressed to outdo the intensity of this race, but the women often do. So thanks so much. See you tomorrow.